and Blue Star. How we doing, gentlemen?
Hi, guys.
Oh,
Good evening.
Came a long way.
And didn't he get in very smartly? I'm very proud of him. Can I just say good evening to you guys on the panel? Huge good evening to you guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Blue Star, you'll get the most improved in the technical department this week, I think.
Aye, thanks a lot, guys. I think I needed it after the pounding I took in the lobby last night.
Well, sometimes you get what you deserve in this life. That right, Bridge?
Oxchair, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm very suspicious of what's happening here. Do you think it's his wife that's telling him what to do?
Oh, well, Bridge, you know me and you, we're men's men, you know what I mean? We just do what we're told.
Only joking, pal. Oh,
well, Bridge, that would be totally amazing to me too, considering I've not got one.
Even better, Blue Star.
Now you're a celebrity. You'll be kicking them. You'll be getting rushed off your feet, Blue Star.
Oh, had enough of them, Ox.
Anyway, we're slowly building up to the Hibs game, Bridge, man, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I mean, that was a good performance the last time we played there. We just couldn't put the ball in the net, you know.
Yep,
we go there and play. We go and play like we did the last time. I've no fear against them.
Yeah, I think we've got to gather our thoughts together as a team and go out there and just think that we can beat them, and so we can. We should be able to beat them. We should never hold any fears about Hibs, that's for sure. And we should go there and beat them. I'm quite convinced of it. Obviously, we've said it last night, and we'll say it the night before, and we can say it tonight again. If we don't do it, then, well, you know, boys in the slates, isn't it? As far as that's concerned.
It's playing under that pressure, Blue Star, that comes with the jersey, yeah?
Absolutely, Ox. I was listening to Maurice Ross tonight, and he's very, very articulate the way he speaks, but he was on about how he thought the Rangers were doing this season, and he takes to do with the young guys, and he was saying even for the young guys now, he says that the whole academy is all about how to train them specifically and how to conduct ourselves off the pitch, on the pitch, and how the expectations of wearing that jersey can be overpowering to a lot of them. And they were asking about him in his day, and he says for the minute you walk in the door, he says it's just a total different ballgame. He says for anything you're ever used to. He says even if some of the guys I spoke to, he says that were away at other teams and then they come back, he says if they were lucky enough to get back, he says the difference is incredible. He says, and what the average person doesn't understand, he says, is just how frightening it can be walking onto that pitch in front of 50,000, you know. So I think a lot of these new guys, especially if they come in for different leagues, different countries, I think that's maybe a lot to do with it. It's the expectation and the pressure that they feel. It's 24/7. It's not just the 90 minutes of the game, as he was saying. He says it's all day long. He says even when we go abroad on holiday, he says you can't believe, he says, the amount of Rangers fans, he says, that are coming up to you asking for selfies, etc. He says it's a complete, he says it's a lifetime's experience. He says, but the pressure that's on the players, he says, is something else. He says, and the average person just doesn't understand that. You know.
Do you think when we say that the jersey's too big for someone, Bridge, is that maybe what Blue Star's saying there? It's maybe just no on the park. It's the whole package. Oh
yes, it's everything to do with Rangers. The Rangers jersey is everything about Rangers. I mean, the whole thing. It's Ibrox. It's all the traditions that go with it. It's all the charity organisations that we're involved with. It's all of these things that make Rangers, you know, this huge organisation that sort of mostly looks after its own, but puts more into the community than any other club in probably Britain.
And then you've got the tradition, Bridge, that we understand and people who are raised with understand. But if you're getting brought into that, it's difficult, eh?
Oh my goodness, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'd be great to get some youngsters, sorry, no youngsters, but some players who have been at Ibrox for a few years, and they explain to you what happens to them. They came in the door, just like Blue Star was saying, and it goes so far, and then they can't tell you. At the present moment, they can't tell you anymore. It'd be really nice to get someone at the present moment that's came in the door, so in 2 years' time or 3 years' time, he'd be able to tell you, these are the things we had to do. And at the back, in the back of all that is this Rangers tradition, and how the fans, how they interact with the fans, all that, it's enormous. It's just enormous.
Star, you talked about how you conduct yourself on and off the park, how you train. I wonder who that's coming for.
Yeah, absolutely. But you must remember, he didn't play under Stevie G. What he was saying was, he says, since he's come back in, he says, I've even seen a change. He says, for when he played, he says, he says it's a whole cultural thing. He says, he was telling a story, Ox. It was really interesting. He says a simple thing. He says we get them doing is he says, say they walk into the dressing room or one of the toilets. He says, see if I walk in behind them. He says, and I see a bit of toilet paper lying. He says, I shout them back in. He says that's happening up to the age of 19. He says, and some of them don't like it. He says, but he says we make sure they pick it up. He says, no stones are left unturned. He says, and that's the whole regimental thing. He says that the whole structure of the club's aiming for now. So you automatically think, well, somebody will say to them, well, what happens if you get somebody in that's, I don't mean a bit of a prima donna, but you know what I mean, it fancies herself a bit. He says it doesn't matter who they are. He says there's nobody, no special treatment. He says every guy, he says, is treated the exact same. As you say, where's that coming from? Stevie G's had that drummed into him all his life at Liverpool. So he's came in and he's totally transformed it all again. That's not to say that Rangers didn't already have that. But what he's trying to explain to the public was that the whole setup has totally changed significantly again. And he says that he's even been amazed at the transformation. So that can only be good, especially if you're getting the guys in young. And let's be honest, for the ones that are going to make it, that's what it's all to do with. And as you said there about tradition and everything, if they get that instilled into them, that can only be absolutely brilliant for us and the club.
I mean, obviously the academy's all about, it's judged on how many first team players it gets ultimately, yeah?
Absolutely.
But you're also trying to build men as well, your football players and men, and if you get the two of them right, you could have some potentially some players in your hand.
Well,
the players that's in the under-21 squad now, the under-19s, under-17s, we just won that competition that none of us could believe when we watched it. So there's something good going on at the place, eh?
Absolutely. And the wee bit you played the other night, and the guy that passed away there,
Eric Caldo.
When you heard even some of the ex-players for the opposing side of the city talking about him, they all hit you with the same thing, Ox, that he was a total gentleman on and off the park. I mean, normal people met him in the street. It says the way that he conducted himself. These are all traditions. That's what players in their day were like. You had different players like Baxter, etc., that were flamboyant, but you had the quieter ones, but they might have been quieter in stature, but when they were on that park, oh boy, they could be as hard as nails. And I think that's exactly what they're trying to instill in all these young players again today, and that can only be brilliant for us and the club.
I think it's good for the youngsters to realise that they're in a privileged position and they know to blow it. Because you only really get one chance, Bridge, I know you've never made any mistakes in your life.
Oh, she was. How many hours ago?
That'll be a special. We'll do a special on that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's true. And these young lads, they've got... when they're told about some of the things that's going to happen with them, insofar as their playing career and with Rangers, it must be just spellbinding. They must be thrilled to bits. These things are going to happen. I'm going to be doing this, that, or the next time. And obviously, they'll know within maybe 2 seasons whether they're going to make it or not, whether they've got the goods to make it. And I think that's all there is to it. I don't think there's very much they can do They can't patter them up too much because they're going to run out of time themselves. They've got to be able to move on to somewhere at a different level and be able to maybe make it there and maybe even come back to Rangers. But there's a certain level they've got to be at before they can move forward and get the chance to move forward, should I say. And if they get there and they take their chance, the world's their oyster. And I mean that sincerely. The world is their oyster.
What a life. What a life, you know. I mean, they're living everybody's dream. Anyway, we're going to look back, if that's all right with you, Blue Star. We're going to look back on this day. There's some important things happened in Rangers history, matches and events on this day. And then we're going to come up to the present day at some time, if everything goes well. Bridgeman, we're going to let you debate the BBC.
Oh, go on yourself.
There's a subject you've never raised before.
No, I know. Scary, isn't it?
If people want to join us, Bridge, how can they do it now?
They can join us via Skype at rangersradio.online. They'll probably call in and get shall we say, they would drop, their call will be dropped, and Fox will bring them, Fox or Old School Blue, whomever, will bring them in and they'll look after them. All right, okay. Be good to hear from people. But we're going to look back on this day. I don't know if you've paid any attention to that. I'll cut across. We'll be joined with our first caller evening. Evening, Brian. How we doing, mate? Oh, lost Brian. Hello, Brian. How we doing, mate?
No bad.
What's on your mind, mate?
No, I was only phoning in to listen on Skype because it's the best way to listen.
All right, you go back and mute then.
No, a message in saying that when I phoned up.
All right, mate. No bother. I think that's cheating. What do you think?
You know I'm always good for a chat, mate. Well,
you just want to be close to Bridge, don't you?
Aye.
All right, mate. Good to hear from you. We've also been joined by GFK, sneaking in the boys' gate. How we doing, GFK?
Evening, guys.
Evening,
How we doing, mate?
Hi, Blue Oxshire, Bridgeman, and the Fox in the background there. How you all doing, guys?
How's it going, Jimmy? You all right, Jimmy?
I'm brand new, mate.
Well done, pal.
Housework's all done and wife's out working.
What do you mean the housework's all done? You don't do the housework as well, do you?
Oh, of course I do, mate. Doing the ironing and everything. Hey, I'm a modern man. Come on.
Ireland.
Jimmy, I thought you were going to say you made her do the housework before she went out to work.
That's all. Dinner's
you
ready
were my hero for 15 weeks there, Jimmy. 15 weeks I've looked up to you.
Hey. Most therapeutic doing an ironing, pal. Try it.
Love it, pal. Love it. Well done.
I'll see you tomorrow with a bag full.
Hey, bring it on. Hey, wishy-washy. There you go.
Change days, Mr. Miller. Change days, that's all I'm saying.
I wish. I iron the bits you can see, the rest just goes inside the jeans.
Oh, brilliant.
All right. How we doing, GFK? What's on your mind? Or you just come in to see where the adventure that is Rangers Radio takes you?
No, I mean, listen to what you were saying, guys. Now, I was reading a lot of things today, and I was listening to a day I watch. I think you're the same as me, Ox. You're at the politics. I'm into a lot of politics, but this liability thing, strict liability, is starting to rear its ugly heads, and you know who's going to be hate for it. I see I don't know, I can't see his name right, Hassaf, Yumsaf, whatever you want to call him.
He loves us, doesn't he? He loves us.
But he was approached by email and in person in the Scottish Parliament regarding by Mr. Dornan. We all know who he is.
Yes.
MP James Dornan, who is supposedly the man who's he's selected to be the sectarian czar, whatever you want to call him. I don't know what you want. I think some things I'd like to call him. Anyway, that's the thing that's in my mind today. You know, as I say, we don't want to turn Rangers Radio into a political show now, but there's a lot of things happening in Glasgow.
All we always say, GFK, is when the ballot papers come up, people will need to watch their first choice and their second choice.
What I noticed tonight again on, I don't watch BBC News, I watch STV, But what I noticed tonight again is that when they breached the subject of sectarianism, again they put up Rangers fans with their flags and that, and then halfway through the conversation they then mentioned the puddle drinkers and the sheep and the spoon burners, So as I said last night, guys, and I think you all agreed with me, they're gunning for us, and I'm going to sing off the same hymn sheet as Blue Star. Blue Star kind of made a wee appeal last night, and I concur with him, and it was a pity he didn't get on longer than he did, but I would just say to all Rangers fans out there, as much as I love to sing the songs, and I have sung the songs, and I still do sing the songs, but I sing them in private, and in places where other people enjoy singing them with me. But see, when we go to watch the Rangers, guys, we need to cut out the add-ons, because you know why? They're coming to get us. They're coming, and we'll be the club they make an example with. That's the thing that's on my mind first and foremost today, Ox here. So I don't want to...
We just need to fight smarter, Jimmy. We just don't need to own goals. We need to stop own goals, mate. Because it's just but we need to remember that the ballot box is the way we can hurt these people, because they're gunning for us, not just us, but culture and everything we stand for. And we need to fight back, but that's a whole different debate. But glad you raised it. But we're going to look back, JFK. I know you're a man that studies history, mate. Have I lost you, Jimmy?
Still here.
All right, mate. I thought I'd lost you. I know you're a man that studies history, but there's some interesting football matches on this day. I've not looked at it for a long time, but I didn't realise that 1979 was the first leg of the quarter-final of the European Cup against Cologne.
Aye.
2008 was the round 4 first leg in the UEFA Cup run against Werder Bremen.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, apart from maybe the Sporting Lisbon result, was our best performance at Ibrox in that competition when we beat them 2-0, if you remember the game.
Yeah, I would go along with that,
aye. Aye. So 2 big games in our history. But also on this day, 4 years ago, Dave King and the Three Bears came in to take over the club, which is, I don't say it's the most important thing in the immediate future, but it's been an important part of the Rangers story in the last few years, that day. Bridgeman?
Yeah, I think I said the other night there that what Dave King and the Three Bears did was just amazing, and they brought the fans together, and the fans backed them, and they really saved our club together. I don't know where we would have been without them getting us away for the Spibs. God knows what would have happened to us, seriously. But I think Dave King and they've got to be commended. I take my hat off to them, and I love them to bits for doing what they've done to my club, and let us do what we do for the club, which we do lots of. So I'm happy with that.
All right. Blue Star, what about yourself? Was that something that stuck in your mind when they came in? Did you see that as an important step in our recovery, or is the off-the-field stuff not something that you bother about?
Oh, no. We had to bother about it. Have you seen the papers today when you've seen that guy Green? He's trying to sue the Scottish police for 20 million. When you think of all that went through, let's be honest, if you'd have mentioned 6 years ago, 10 years ago, that a guy called Green and a guy called White were going to take our Glasgow Rangers, they'd have locked you up. But when you think of all that went on, it was just an utter, unadulterated nightmare. And what was even worse was the way some of these other clubs treated us, and are still treating us. So for King and the Three Bears to come in, oh no, they were trying to do things for the right reasons for Rangers Football Club, and you can only commend them, and you've got to admire them, because let's be honest, King's had an awful lot to put up with. Whether he's a wealthy man or no is immaterial. Some of the stuff that he's still having to put up with is absolutely diabolical, to be quite frank.
Whether you think he's right, wrong, or you think he's played the right game or no, but what you've got to admire is he he just rolls with the punches. He seems unflappable.
He's stuck with it, exactly. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody makes mistakes. King's made mistakes. Other guys have made mistakes, but he's done things. He's done things for the right reasons. He's got Rangers at heart. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So you've got to admire the guy. And as you say, look at the garbage he's had to put up with, and is still having to put up with. So he could simply walk away, guys. Let's be honest here. He could walk away and forget about it. The very fact he's stuck with us, he's trying to do the best for our club. So here for him.
All right, so I'm going to take you back to 79. Now, Blue Star, I know this. You might have been still at school then. The other two.
No, I left.
The other two were well. It's 1979. Just to see how you do. Just to see how you do.
School.
Approved by the government. Just to see what you do with the team that evening. And I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, though. Right, see how we do with the team. 1979 quarter-final European Cup. We knocked out the Italian champions, the Dutch champions. We were going for the quadruple, Jimmy. Yes?
We were as well, aye.
There was a fixture pile-up because Scottish football had run into bad weather, if you remember that. We hadn't played for a few weeks before we played them. And our star player at that time would have been DJ. He was injured because he was on the back of a fantastic season 78. He picked up an injury. So let's see if you can give me the team that night. Who's in goal? Anybody?
1979. Nicky Walker.
Oh, come on, Barcelona bear.
McCloy.
Well done.
McCloy. I thought I got your angry there.
Right.
So I've seen I'm not cheating on Google or I'm trying to
I know. So right back. I'll give you a clue, Bridge. He's got a stand named after him.
Sandy boy.
Sandy Giardino.
The Blue Star, if you're going to cut across, you're going to
Sorry,
get
guys, sorry.
Yes, you're going to get put in this competition because there's a major prize.
He's showing his age there, isn't he?
Left back, anybody?
Ali Dawson.
Correct. 2 centre backs.
That'll be interesting.
Aye.
That'll be interesting. 2 centre backs.
Right, let me think.
Wasn't he Patterson? Wasn't he Patterson?
Oh, you're about 10. You're about.
Oh, God's sake, 10 year away there.
I'm talking
That's
about
6 years.
Patterson. That's 20 years ago. That's right. 20 years before.
Tom Forsyth.
Big Tam, aye.
Big Tam, yes.
Bobby Russell played that year or not.
Wait a minute, he's no centre back, was he?
No, I'm trying to think of it.
Well, just think in your head then.
Right.
Right, I'll give you a clue. This is a bonus prize. First on the buzzer. Bomber.
Jackson.
Well done.
I
I don't think these two support Rangers Blue Star, if I'm being honest. I think they just
I know, I'm getting worried here.
There, Bomber.
They're older than me, too.
Right. I would say it was a midfield 4. And
Bobby Russell.
He's one of them. 2 of them played in Barcelona.
Doddy.
Yes.
Ali McDonald.
Yes.
I said Bobby Russell.
Yes. So did
Davy
Fox.
Smith.
Johnston.
I told you he was injured.
Willie Johnson, no.
Tommy McLean.
Yes.
Bobby Tommy, aye.
One more.
Davy White.
No, he well retired, but in Bridge.
Okay, pal.
I think this player was on the bench at Barcelona. Without checking it, I couldn't say 100%, but I wouldn't have got him. Personally.
Was it Kenny somebody?
No.
Oh. I was thinking of Kenny Watson there. This is in the midfield.
I think we played with a 4-4-2, it looks like to me.
Nah, you need to use a clue, Ox.
Right.
Who was it we played?
Cologne. Right. If I said it sounds like Slim Denny,
Jim Denny.
well done.
Yeah.
Did you got that,
hated
JFK?
I hated Jim Denny.
Well, you didn't hate him. He just wasn't one of your
No,
favourites.
no hate. He was a terrible player.
He was there for years, mate. I'm going to check how many games he played for us. Let me just see. Jim Denny.
Just speaking of that, I was in Cologne for that game. And I can't remember it.
What did that say?
So was that.
I know,
You know-
we played rotten all night anyway. That's what I
Do you know
remember.
what? Jim
I
Denny
think I
made
was
his...
with a couple of Fräuleins, so I don't know if I was at the game or not.
Am I getting that game mixed up or no? But there was a big cathedral, and did one of a big squad of boys at the Orange Order no day I kind of walked past through it all playing the flutes and drums,
Aye.
Jimmy. Is that right? Is that the
Aye,
right
you're
place?
right.
Aye, I remember it. Aye.
Do you know that Jim Denny made his debut in a Scottish Cup final in 1971? And was still with the club in 1979. 68 games he played, 53 games started, 15 as sub. No goals, no yellow cards, and no red cards.
And he was there 9 years.
Aye.
Aye.
Good grief.
Anyway, so that was it. The two forwards, one was a recent signing, and one was known as the King of.
Derek Parlane.
Yes.
Who else was there at the time? Gordon
Here.
Smith.
Correct. That's the team. McLeod, Jardine, Dawson Forsyth, Jackson McDonald, McLean, Russell, Parlane, Smith, and Jim Denny. Substitutes, Alec Miller and Billy Urquhart.
Oh,
Big Billy. Big healing Billy.
he was a great player, wasn't he?
No nonsense, Big Billy.
Remember they used to say some people would run through a wall for Rangers. That's
Strong as
exactly
an
what
ox.
he done.
He would, aye. Definitely. Aye, that's aye.
There you go, 1979, huh?
Can I just say well done to Fox, because he came in at the death there and got two answers. That was well done, Fox. I think you and I were the only two that got any answers right, Fox.
See that? See the next round. Are you going to do the next round? Aye.
Well, it was on the stage, I mean, so...
Right, okay. No, I was thought, because I think... I think they get humped with Valencia at Ibrox.
No, we never. Jimmy, they beat us 1-0 and then we drew one each at Ibrox.
They beat us 3-1 there. That's what
No,
it was,
it's a
isn't it?
different game. No, they beat us 1-0 that night. Rich, man, go on mute.
Sorry, pal. Sorry.
They beat us 1-0 over there. And
I'm
then...
trying to think of my travels, mate. I remember going to Valencia.
Aye, we went to Valencia.
Señoritas were all right there.
We went to Valencia in 79, mate.
What's that?
We went to Valencia in 79, but the following season.
Is that what it was? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, but that was the night. If you think the second leg of that game, it was postponed to the Wednesday because of the snow.
You're right,
The Thursday night.
You're right. Yep. Sorry, pal.
Oh, not at all, mate. Do your homework before you come on here. Is that right, Bloster?
I'm not doing homework. It's from memory, and you know. but when I get as old as you, then I'm not.
It's all that Grey Goose, mate. It's pickling your brain.
Oh, hey, I'm on the other national tonight. Nice can iron brew.
All right. Where are we? Do you want to the 2008 team before we go to what happened 4 years ago? I'll just give you it. 2-0 we beat Werder Bremen with McGregor, Broadfoot, Papac, Quella, Weir, Hindami, Ferguson, Daly, Davis, Kuzan, and Charlie Adam. Lee McCulloch came on in 75 minutes. So a hard team. Hindami, yeah, he was was good in that run, wasn't he?
Yep.
So was Big Kuzan.
Nah, Kuzan was a great player.
He was a gifted player, wasn't he?
Yep.
Strong as well.
He was a warrior.
Is there any similarities between him and Darcy Fowl and what we've got to do in the Buffalo?
Apart from height, they've got similarities, I suppose.
Yeah.
Where did we get him for Olympics? Something at Marseille, was it?
Marseille
No.
was Fox, aye.
Daniel Cousin. He scored that night, him and Stephen Davis.
Yeah.
We signed him for RC Rennes.
Rennes was it?
Friends, was it?
He used to just make things up. You know, to be fair, he was only there a year and a half and he only played as many games as Jim Denny did in 9 years.
He was not a bad player.
He was a good player.
Daniel Cousin, I thought he was all right.
He was a good player.
I think so, Blue Star. I mean, one of the ones that got away, so we say. You know, I thought he was all right.
I think he was one of these guys. He was an actually better player than what he get credit for. It wasn't until after he was away you realised just how good he was.
44 games, 27 started, 17 as subs, 13 goals, 2 penalties, 4 yellows and 2 reds.
Aye. Ox, if you remember right, most of these goals were right good, important goals, if you know what I mean. A lot of them were like deciders, like they were winners. They weren't like to make it one each or anything like that. Most of these goals were all winners. But he was a good big player.
And he was ended up suspended for the final. You never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got an authority for back there now. Boswell's joined us.
Evening, boys. How we doing?
Not too bad, boys. How we doing?
Would you go to Jim Denny?
Yes, I would have because I was at that game, 1979.
I hate you, Boswell. I hate you.
Yeah, I know that.
That's the only one I got.
But well, the other one would have been Billy Urquhart, wouldn't that? Would have been the one that not a lot of people would have got as well.
He never played. He was sub.
You get subbed, yeah.
He was sub.
I mean,
he did play in the return leg, unfortunately.
But yeah, because you were saying that the game was postponed one night because of the snow.
Aye.
But see when I see things like that, you know, the game is postponed because of the snow and things like that, and the frost. And I think, at what point will the police say on Saturday morning, "I'm sorry, it's too icy in Sauchiehall Street. It's shut. We can't have anybody going into Sauchiehall Street because it's shut." And all the money that all those businesses along Sauchiehall Street will lose, that's just how it goes. Just forget about it. Stay at home because there'll be no shopping on Saturday afternoon. There will be absolute uproar. But the authorities have been doing this to football for years. It's a disgrace.
We've also been joined by George. Evening, George. Come on, George.
How
we doing, George?
Aye, all right, good. Just when you were talking about Big Daniel Cousin there, well, so a lot of people didn't rate Big Daniel. I thought he was a cracking big player for us. He was a strong. I remember the game we ran amok against that lot. Wee Mark Wilson still has nightmares about that. Remember he absolutely ran amok against him. I think he got sent off that night. Do not stick a heat in. What's his name? Big McManus. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he laid one on him that night. And
I remember it well.
Played well that night. He was an excellent player that way. You were talking about him and you were talking about him Danny wasn't rated highly by a lot of Rangers players, but I thought he was a cracking player. We signed him. He was a Marseille captain when we signed him. Yep. He was absolutely fantastic when we signed him. Done well for us in Europe anyway.
There was a few of them, George, that came for that. Who was it? The Marseille, the Paris Saint-Germain captain? Fan, and there was Rodriguez, the other one.
He was a Monaco captain.
Monaco, there's a lot of them came from there. Dashville came from Bordeaux. I thought he was a cracking player, Jean-Claude Dashville.
Do you know he only completed 190 minutes for us, but
I'm not really surprised because he was more of an impact player, but he could come on. I mean, I remember him coming on in a 7-2 victory we had against Falkirk, and he absolutely ran the show that day. He was fantastic.
One of the interviews we on top told a good story about him winning the pre-season. I can't remember who it was. Was it Kevin Thompson, wasn't it? They said they were the first day of pre-season. They were all running, and this guy who they'd never really met was just sitting in a bike pedal.
Yeah, I mean, but I suppose a player like that, he didn't really have the physique for running, did he? He was quite a chunky thing. But it just shows you that there's a lot of I follow French football quite a lot, as some of you know, and I think there's a lot of great value to be had in French football. I really do. We were talking about Brahim Hamdani, came from there. Who was the other one? Did someone else come from? Was it Angers? He came from. Oh God, French lad. Oh no, kind of West African French lad. Oh God, I've forgotten his name. Played 2006, 2007, same team as Charlie Adam, that kind of player. No, I can't remember. But a lot of those players come from that, and it's the West African lads. You think 35 yards, have a go, and that's what makes that kind of French football, the lower end of French football, really interesting, because it's players that play without any inhibitions.
Was it Basil Bowley? Was it?
No. Basil Bowley came from Marseille.
Was it no Bernard or something? No.
Oliver Bernard. Anyway, enough about France. We're here to talk about Rangers.
We are talking about the Rangers.
So look, on this day, I don't know if you heard this, George. Obviously, Mr. King and the Three Bears came in. And if you don't mind going to mute everybody, we're going to hear a wee bit of, just a small bit of reflect on the day, what was said. And then we'll have your views. And look, you might think good, bad, and indifferent. We're not here to tell you what you think, but have they done what they said they would do? How well have we moved on as a club? So get yourself on mute.
We can't underestimate the scale of the task, and if I could ask each of you just to sum up the part that you personally will play in getting this great football club back to the top.
I think from my point of view, and I think personal is a bit strong, I really see it as being a collective. So it's kind of individual skills, but really collective together, and I think we are fortunate, and it must be obvious we are very like-minded in what we're trying to achieve. And from my personal point of view, it would be the value system. From a board point of view, it's the transparency, it's the governance issues that have been completely absent from the club.
Well, I think much the same. I think what's been lacking at the club in the last 4 years is leadership. And we as a board have to lead the club. And I think what we'll do in terms of filling out the board is, I think we are all like-minded in terms of the common objective to get Rangers back to the top again. But actually what we need to do is then get a different set of skills, so that we've got financial skills, commercial skills, political skills, and that's all about filling out the board, which we'll be doing in the next few weeks.
And it's the family, John, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a family. It's the club itself. It's all the people that work there, and making them happier again, letting them enjoy coming into their work in the daytime, and match days, getting the right people in the directors' board, people that can help the club, that want to help the club, and using the facility properly. And we had had a friend call today, one of the biggest facilities management companies in Scotland, saying, just let me know if I can help. So that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, we wish you every success in your endeavours. Fantastic to have your hand in the tiller of this magnificent football club. It's onwards and upwards.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very much indeed. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
4 years ago today, they came into the club, they took over. What kind of job do you think they've done? Fox?
I think it's been a long, hard struggle for them. When they took over, Ibrox, I can remember being at the emergency general meeting. I think it lasted about 15 minutes. We were sitting in the corner of the Broomloan where the away support sat round about there, and it was short and sweet. Since then, as I say, uphill battle. They found plenty wrong with the club, and slowly but surely they're getting us back on an even keel. It's been a long, hard road for the fans and them, but we look as though we're in a decent place now.
There's been bumps in the road, Bridge. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I can echo what Foxy was saying. I was at all the AGMs and the partial AGMs, and the previous board were absolutely hated. I mean, detested, seriously. And they couldn't get rid of them quick enough. I said a wee bit earlier, in my opinion, that was a really great day when they came in and started to take over our club. And how they did it, the way they did it, was all up, allegedly all above board. No crap going on. So I'm very happy with that. And the Rangers fans responded. Not that they hadn't responded in the past, but we responded. We kept the response going and gave them 100% Rangers support. And whatever monies we could put in, we put in. And whatever monies they could put in, they put in. And here we are. Got a wee chance of, shall we say, breaking even for a full year at the end of this financial year and starting off in the right footing for next year. And hopefully next year may be our year completely.
GFK then, George Logan.
Stability. They've gave us stability. Dave King and the Three Bears have come in. There was a few glitches along the road, as we all know, the managers that we brought in. But monetary-wise, he brought that stability to the club. He promises that he would get us in an even keel again, and he has done that. The finances this season now are fantastic, and the European run was partly for that. But a lot of people criticise Dave King because his original tenure with David Murray, and he wasn't the right man for the job. But for me, got to take my hat off to him. Him and the Three Bears have brought nice stability to the club, and it's onwards and upwards, I always say. So I'm looking forward to the future. Next season, I think, is going to be groundbreaking for us. I get that feeling that next season, when we get rid of the maggot, who is the Ashley, completely, and we start to run Marine Store, then I think Dave King's done the right thing in taking the tiller at Ibrox. So I'm happy, mate. I'm happy.
George, and then boys.
I'll be forever grateful to the boys, Ox. Like everybody else has said the other day, there's been bumps on the road. A lot of fans, when they came out and they said they took our Rangers, a lot of fans were, most of the fans got behind them straight away. A lot of the fans didn't want them in, and they eventually got the people to start getting behind them, and I think most of the fans are behind them now. They came out and they said a statement about we're 7 years behind that lot. At the time, I said if we were only 7 years behind them, because I couldn't see us ever catching them where we had been. A lot of fans were saying, I can't believe they're saying 7 years, that's terrible, and things like that. And at the time, I said if they're saying we're 7 years behind them, that's good for me. That really is good for me. I think that was good. But so many years down the line, and I think we're definitely getting closer. We're not right beside them yet, but we're definitely getting closer, and that's all thanks to the guys. They've come in and they've steadied the ship. I think they've done mostly what they said they're going to do. There's still things that they're going to have to try and do. There's still a few drawers still to be opened and find stuff. But for me, I'll be ever grateful to the guys. It's because we went from white to green to whoever it was after that, and then now we've got the boys. So I'll be forever grateful for the board we've got the new Oaks. So I really appreciate what we've got now.
Yeah. White to green to red, white and blue, mate. Boswell?
I think that we can only show our gratitude because they'd taken over a club that was absolutely fractured right down the middle, and we had a group of people dancing on our graves. And I think it's just recently that the Easdale shares have come up, and I don't know whether they've been bought by the current incumbents, but that then sees a complete severing of the situation as it was before, and it's back to Dave King and the Three Bears and whoever else they decide is the right people to come in. But I don't think any of us have any real understanding of how damaged our club was and how close. I mean, we all know how close we were not to having a club at all, and the times that we'd gone through. And on here, I mean, it was a cathartic experience every night of the week on here through 2012 and up to 2015 when they came in. You just have nothing but gratitude for them, because they've taken on something that all of us wanted to do, but were never in a position to do. But they have done. Proper Rangers men. That was good enough for me, because what we had before was nothing short of criminals and charlatans. And so far as Dave King and his previous stint at Ibrox under David Murray, Dave King was under no element of control. When you're in control, when you're under the thumb of a megalomaniac such as David Murray, there's very little that you can do. If he didn't want it to happen, it didn't happen. And the damage that he's having to repair because of what happened then, I think is utterly outrageous in the name of our club. So Dave King, long may he reign for me. A fantastic job.
What's that?
Yeah, absolutely concur with all the guys there. When King came in and had to take over for the shambles before him, let's be honest, they had a real mess to eradicate. And as Boswell says there, I don't think any of us really knew just how badly fractured, as he says, the club was. Certainly one of the statements he gave to the press, and we all know what they've got to do with the press sometimes, he said there would be plenty of transparency. No football club gives total transparency for obvious reasons. And to be fair to the guys, they've slowly but surely put us back where we truly are, we should belong. And I'm quite sure that they'll fulfil all their promises given time, because it does take time. You can't just walk in the door and get everything going the way you want. It takes time, and for as the guy says, that charlatan guy that still has a bit of a paw in our finances, once he goes, the amount of money that we can generate, and we all know because we've done it for years, through our merchandise, very, very few clubs can generate anything like what we can generate. And when we get that back, we'll be back to being the force that we know we can be.
All right. I mean, there was bumps along the road. I mean, at the time, that day, Kenny McDowell was in charge. We were sitting third in the championship. Let's just say our team wasn't going in the right direction. So in 4 years, we've moved on dramatically. There has been some bumps. I mean, Warburton came in. That was superb to start with. Didn't end very well. And then we had Murty the first time as caretaker. Then Pedro came in. Well, I'll go to George next on that one, because you know my views on that, George. I stated them enough at the time. You know, that was a big mistake, but God, how they've rectified it.
That was the biggest mistake they've made. Not just the fact they brought him in, they made the mistake with bringing him in, and then they brought Mark Allen, who's been a great appointment, and after it, he said it straight away that just bringing him in was a complete utter mistake, and I'll never ever understand why they did bring him in. I still, in my honest opinion, I still think there was other people that are saying that. I want to believe that, because I don't understand how guys can make decisions like Steven Gerrard and where the finances are of that now can make such a bad mistake last season.
I think at the time, mate, they were told that they were going to bring in 2 Mexican internationals. They were going to bring in a playmaker. They were going to bring in a Portuguese guy that's captain Portuguese with all these honours. And they were going to bring him in right away, and it was going to improve our team. And they did do that, just turned out that it never worked out.
They did, Ox. I mean, there's a lot of things about our club we'd rather forget, and he's definitely one of them. I don't understand how a guy like him come into our club. I just didn't understand it. I'll never ever understand how they.
No. I mean, I don't. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I mean, I couldn't get it at the time. I think it was Boz who said right away back then, if you have to Google the Rangers manager, you know you're struggling, you know, and that was when he got appointed.
How true that is, isn't it?
Aye.
On you go, Bridge. On you go, mate. Bridge.
Aye. I was just going to say that the last points you were making there about the Mexicans coming in, they're going to do this and do that, and my goodness gracious, they brought 3 or 4 players in, and to be honest, they're very disappointing. And that was another embarrassment for our club. Complete
big bucks as well, mate.
Absolutely,
bucks, you know?
And we're paying for it now. We're really paying for it now. And I hope that we can, with the players we've got now and the way we go, I hope that we can just forget. And I don't mean just forget, but put that behind us, learn from it, put it behind us, and don't go down that road again. For God's sake, don't go down that road again. So the boards have strengthened itself. The club's looking better. It'll probably end up a really good season. If we finish second this season, or even better than that, first this season, it'll be fabulous. But really and truly, you can feel that we've got a better squad with better quality. We'll still get hiccups in our games, and sometimes we lack continuity. We just need to get that, and that might mean another player, maybe another 2 players with a better quality to bring us up. Might need that. But other than that, I'm a really, really happy guy. Happy. Thank you very much, Dave Smith. Thank you very much.
Dave King. Well,
Dave King, sorry. Yeah.
Dave Smith as well. Fox will never forget Dave Smith.
Davey Smith in the brain tonight.
So, I mean, if you were scoring out of 10, boys, how would you so far score the tenure?
6.5 and rising. There's a lot of work yet to do. The Stevie G capture was absolutely just major. I mean, I think, see, if you say that shows imagination and foresight, I think, you've got to give them for that, but that's allied to the appointment of Mark Allen, because I think Mark Allen is crucial to Stevie G's ultimate appointment and what he brings, because it's not just the appointment of Mark Allen and the appointment of Stevie G. It's Stevie G convincing other hardcore football coaching professionals to say, come up to Rangers and let's make something special. You don't need to sell Rangers to anybody. You absolutely don't. Not football people. Bigots and xenophobic gits. Yeah, you're always going to have to sell it. But real football people know what our club's all about. Real football people, and that's what we've got in situ now. Real football people that know about real football, and that's the difference. Pedro, bit of an imposter. Mark Warburton, an experiment that didn't work, unfortunately. I think all of us, we thought it was going to work. We thought it was that. That was showing imagination. That was showing imagination to me as well. But I ultimately think that the capture of Stevie G and Mark Allen are 2 that we need to look at in the same light, because I don't think you get one without the other.
All right, fair enough. What about yourself, GFK? How would you score it out of 10?
I'd get a nice wee 7, mate. I can't really say much more than what the guys have all said, because I totally agree with them. On 14th of February 2012 was a dagger in all our hearts, and we couldn't see ourselves getting to the position we're in now without a fight, and we have fought back well. So I put my faith in what Dave King's hoping to achieve, and he knows he's got our support, and he can just see that with the amount of season ticket holders that are at Ibrox now, the share issues he's now having to buy up, forced to buy them, I may add, because I think he was looking for a wee bit of leeway there, but he's done it. He kept his word. So a 7 for me. Next season, as I say, I think will be a very interesting season for us. It would be brilliant if the 55 came this season. It's still there for us, but off the field, I'll get a 7, mate. I think the finances that have been brought in, the infrastructure that they've managed to help along the lines with some of the Ibrox was in a terrible state. My only criticism, and we spoke about this other night, is they need to get the food sorted out at Ibrox. It's absolutely garbage.
I think we're still contracted. I think that's still some of the past misdemeanours that the contracts were stuck with, mate. And you're spot on, mate, to get that, the match day experience. Jeez, the West of Scotland don't know how to make pies,
Nah.
Fair
a lifetime contract they've got in there.
I know. What about yourself, Blue Star? What's your score out of 10, mate? It would have been great if somebody come on and thought they, just for debate, I mean, we're not here to just sing the praises of the board, but we're getting an honest opinion there, lads. But if somebody had thought something different, or thought they hadn't done a good job, it would have been great to hear from them. But what about yourself, Blue Star?
Oh no, I said right at the start, a 7, because as I say, the mess that they had to, that they inherited, if you like, was absolutely criminal. And Boswell's right and bang on what he said. I don't think any has really realised just how bad it was. Behind the scenes, there was things happening that, quite frankly, most guys, even multi-millionaires, they might have had Rangers at heart, but they would have walked away, especially when they were up against a guy like Ashley. I don't think any has really realised, well, we do now because we've heard that many stories. You only need to listen to some of the things for the Newcastle fans. When he gets his claws into something, he has that much power behind him. It's criminal, in fact. So the very fact King stuck with it, and the guys with him.
Sorry, guys.
The very fact that he stuck with it and he didn't walk away, it would have been easy for him to do that. So you've got to give him enormous credit. Can I just say, guys, I do know for a fact that Mark Allen had a discussion before Stevie G with Steve McLaren. Let me tell you, guys, thank flipping goodness we never got him, because for me, he's one of the worst managers ever. I agree with Boz. The big turning point definitely was bringing in Stevie G. The guy's got class written all over him. Everything that he does, the way he conducts himself, etc., etc. And I have absolutely no fears. He will get it right. He will get us a winning team on that park. So coming for the board, yes, there's been hiccups, there's been mistakes. Pedro is the biggest one, I would say. But I think we've definitely got the right guy in place now, and we're all behind him, and that's the main thing.
All right, listen, lads, get yourself on mute. Some people might want to digest what's happened in Paris. Dramatic result. Get yourself on mute, and we'll have a tune for the one and only Fox.
Just what the Rangers really mean to me. These last few years I've been afraid that we might drift away. So let me tell old stories we sing songs. Made me think about where we come from. That's the reason why I feel so very proud today. Let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. I wish the days crossed me, but now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me old and sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had. We won 9 in a row, and I'm still dreaming of Brian Lampton, Trevor Stephen, Marvin Andrews, Seth, keep believing, Davy Cooper on the wing. We remember Gaza with great affection, the day the helicopter changed direction. Jimmy Baxter, he was pure perfection. Super Ali scores again. Well, let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium's cozy, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me old and sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me old and sad. masqueraders I've ever had.
Well, thanks for that. Fox not dry in the house, I don't think. Pretty apt. I remember the first time I heard that song. Pretty powerful. JFK, you like to spin the tunes. Great tune.
That's a nice tune, mate. Excuse my wee shout there, just in mid-conversation there, Blue Star. It was when my boys come screaming up the stair that Man United scored a contentious penalty.
Incredible result, that.
That's them through, pal.
That's them through away goals, aye.
Aye.
That was what I said.
Result.
That's why I said, oh my God, no, you're kidding. See, no, they've scored a penalty there in the last 10 seconds. It was a VAR penalty, seemingly.
I watched the first half, guys, and I thought they were going to get. I thought PSG were going to murder them.
Pumped, yeah.
Aye.
The first 5 to 15 minutes, they scored their goal, and then that was it. They never touched the ball. I'm like, oh, brilliant.
Anyway, that's football. 23% possession, score 3 goals.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. George Logan, we're moving in the right direction. What's the next job in the board? How would you see they've got to back the manager?
But back the manager, I think it's back the manager also. I think we're backing the manager as much as we need to back him now. Just a wee right quick one before you move on. Ken, we always, I've never ever liked Pedro, but I've always been thankful for bringing in wee Alfredo and Candias. A lot of guys never found us any players at all, but they found they 2 guys. So as much as I thought it was a wrong decision, they did bring a couple of half-decent players in that maybe make us a bit of money in the time to come. But for me, the board's next step is... Again, somebody just said a wee minute ago there, if we finish second, I'm still going for the league this year, Ox. Your next step is winning this league. Stopping 10 in a row, stopping 9 in a row, whatever it is we've got to stop. But that's your next step. Backing the manager as much as we possibly can with finances. I think the turnaround in finances of our club's been absolutely phenomenal. It's no Champions League money or nothing like that, but I think I heard somebody on one of the podcasts tonight saying it's going to be roughly about 8 million. We go for the European run this year. That's fantastic, and that will go into next year's purse. So for us to be 5 million up than we were last year, or 6 million up than we were last year, we've got 8 million coming in for the Hingway, and we've got to either win. I think we're still up there in the league anyway. So our next step for our board is to back our manager to the point where we're winning the league. I'm not bothered with JFK the other night. What I was saying to him is, I'm not bothered about winning cups. We should be winning cups anyway. Aberdeen and Ross County and Inverness, all these teams win cups. We should be winning leagues. That's our next step. We should be winning leagues. There's only 2 teams in Scotland capable of winning leagues, and it's them and us. And we need to start winning it and getting back to where we should be. Also, that's our next step for me.
I struggle to argue that, George. It's obviously financed, but the support have done their bit, Fox.
I think that the fans have put more money into the club than MD over the last few years, and it's them that's kept the club afloat. I think what we need to do going forward is get some more money men on the board to give these guys a wee bit of a hand out, and on the park have another clear out for Mr. Gerrard to the rest of the deadwood, and again in the summer strengthen the squad. That's what we need going forward.
Yeah.
Aye. That'd be great. Well, I think we've come a long way. I'm going to be a wee bit more optimistic than some of these. I think they maybe deserve maybe a 7.5 or an 8. And I do give them extra marks because of the Gerrard signing Bridgman.
Yeah, I was going for an 8. I think that obviously it's still quite a long way to go, because a lot of the fans, they want, just as George said there, where we should be isn't where we are. We might get there, but we need to get there quicker. For some fans, fans are really desperate to get there. I'm only taking it from 2012 right up to this present moment for this season. And as far as I'm concerned, if we finish this season in second place, what a miracle that's been. From playing up in Peterhead and the Hedge and all the stupid things that we were called, all the wee daft stadiums, the terrible results we had against people like Annan, drawing nothing each, just shocking stuff, you know. Ali McCoy's our manager, and I have to say, I'm not a big fan of Ali's right at this moment. I was a big fan of his then. He managed to, he stayed with us and he did what he could do, and then there was just too much crap from him. Simple as that. But really and truly, we were so happy. And George is right. We are, and have been. Our history tells us we're a league-winning side, and we should be in the competition to win the league. Every season, we should be in the competition to win the league, and that's what we need to get to.
All right, so we're coming, Blue Star, the club's developing, we're knocking things over, we're slowly getting the retail deals sorted out. But we're fighting this battle with one hand. Every way we turn, we get beat with bad publicity. Everything's magnified because it's the Rangers. When it's a Rangers supporter that does something, it's a Rangers supporter in the press. When it's somebody else that does something, it's a football fan. And these small things are we falling for the bait, or are we in a war?
Without any question, we're in a war. The papers this morning, there was one newspaper that had four photographs of things that had happened with other clubs. When you started reading it, you couldn't help, but you were just into the column and you're saying, you're kidding me on. You're showing 4 photographs of other teams and whose name's mentioned straight away. Glasgow Rangers. And you're like, the photographs weren't even in today with Rangers, and yet we're still promoted as being the sectarian club. And in some ways, I would criticise our board that way. I still think that there should be more coming for our board in defence of both our fans and our actual club. And I get the point, Ox, that they've got to be very careful now, because let's be honest, all the press, all the media are against Rangers. That there's absolutely no doubt about. So I suppose that it's all right for us looking on and saying, well, they should be making a bigger stand. But I genuinely believe when it comes to the press and the media, I think we need a bigger voice. I honestly do.
Aye, well, they can always come on here. We'll give them a fair voice. Boys, well, I know this is something that you've spoke about over the years. We need to be smarter, stronger, a lot of things. But
Boswell gone, mate.
Oh, is he? Oh, sorry, I didn't know Boz is gone. GFK. We need to be smarter, stronger.
Yeah, but that's easier said than done. I agree with everything that Blue Star said. You know, you heard me say when I first came on at the very start, what my feelings were the night, and I told you about the strict liability law that will be introduced. You better believe it. And like Blue Star, they put our fans up, photos of our fans and pictures of our fans, videos of our fans, and then it's all about how there's bigotry in Scotland and society, you know, and it's all pointed at Rangers. They think that our board should be stronger. Yeah, I do, but I think their hands are tied. You know, because Rangers don't make the law. They might make the law in football as an establishment club, but the government will dictate what happens here in the very near future. All you need to do, I don't know how many guys out there are into politics or whatever, but I know we don't want to make this a political programme, but go and look at some of the things that's been said about Rangers and been saying about your religion as a Protestant, and those who haven't looked, you'll have your eyes open, because I tell you, it is disgusting. They're vilifying us at every tick, and we need to do something about it. And Rangers can only play a small part in that. As I said earlier on, Blue Star had made a kind of wee statement last night, and I'll go on with that again. We need to be careful what we sing at matches. The rest are getting away with it. We are no. Look, I once said 4 or 5 years ago, and I think me and Blue Star are not going to start talking about reminiscing about Radio Snide. But I did say at one time, I felt... No, let me say this. No. And Blue Star will back me up. I did say that I felt that when Rangers were on television, whether it's highlights or live, that I felt that microphones and the volume was turned up so that the Rangers fans could be heard singing their songs.
100%.
And then when Celtic games were played, it was toned. Did you remember that, Blue Star?
Of course I do, absolutely.
So we're thinking on about snide radio. This is no a new thing, Oxshare. So what Merck and the board do, apart from warn us that we need to stop singing these songs. I love the songs, it's my culture. But unfortunately, they're trying to take my culture away from me. If I've got to sing my songs behind closed doors, then that's a sad day for me.
George, and then we'll go to Bridgeman, and then we've got an interview for James Traynor for us all to listen to. George?
I'm with Jimmy. I heard him speaking about that last night, and he was bang on. There's singing the Bully Boys and things like that, gets the hairs in the back of your neck, gets the fans going, everybody loves it. But I think we need to be clever here, Ox. Nobody's got to defend us, nobody's got to look after us. We need to look after ourselves. And if it comes to the case, we can't sing these songs. And I'm not saying giving the person beside you a wee nudge, Ox. I'm just saying getting out there on this forum and other forums, follow everywhere else, and just talk about it and say, look, let's be clever about it.
Let's be smart.
Let's be smarter. Let's get the club on a sound footing again. And let's look after ourselves, because nobody else has got to look after us. Because like Bridgeman said there, 4 or 5 stories in the paper today, nothing about Rangers, but it's Rangers pictures. So we're the biggest story in town, also. If we slip up once, they're right on us. So I think we need to be clever. And I, like anybody else, love singing these songs. But I'll pick my time and place today as well, New Ox.
Bridgeman, the media war we're in, you've enjoyed it?
I think that like that they brought that that report out today, the police report. That they were asked to produce a report. The police, that is, they were asked to produce a report after last year's debacle at Celtic Park, when the first game of the new, shall we say, the new amount of fans could be in. They couldn't accommodate less fans. Let's put it this way: they couldn't accommodate less fans in their stadium. They couldn't get access to the stadium for all the fans that were supposed to get access, so they totally screwed the whole thing up, and there was a huge big crush. A lot of folk were, shall we say, injured. Some mildly injured, some badly injured. But that all started from that. So the police did a report, and the only team name that was mentioned in the BBC's version of the report was Rangers, and it was all to do with an unsafe stadium. And they were highlighting the lower league stadiums when Rangers were in the 3rd division. So the Rangers fans all went, and what they were talking about was the greed of the other clubs, because they put up scaffolding, extra scaffolding, temporary stands, things like that, and never get certificates for it. And we remember well that I think it was Elgin City that printed 5,000 extra tickets or something like that anyway, and so was selling them. And obviously they couldn't get the extra 5,000 in the ground, but they were trying to get the money. So there was a whole myriad of people trying to get their hands on the blue pound, and that's what a lot of that was about when Rangers were in the lower leagues. So people were trying to dip into the blue pound, and now what we're getting is, for some reason or other, they talk about safety at stadiums, and they show a photograph of Ibrox Stadium looking up into the stands, and telling us that basically stadiums are unfit. At Celtic Park, that's no fit. That's the trouble. The trouble is Celtic Park. They had a big crush, and they should have been fined for that. They should have been taken over the coals for health and safety. They did something and moved the fans around.
Is this BBC journalist no come out and said there's one team, safety certificate for 19 years? 19 years, yeah, but
in all probability it's going to be I don't know, Albion Rovers or something like that. I think what's going to happen, you're going to find that somebody's been backhanding a councillor or something like that, something stupid. It's not, I don't think it's going to be any of the top teams, because they play in Europe and they need to have everything right. I don't think it's going to be any of them. I would love it to be one team. I'd love it to be, because the stories about the state of their stadium. But we know that only in this season, that's what we're talking about. I mean, it's this season. For God's sake, they say you're only getting 800 people in, but we don't know how to manage 800 people. Give us 8,000, we'll manage them. Put 800 in, we don't know what to do. Our fans can't go here, they can't go there. How do we give them access and egress? They don't know. And it's their own fans are getting crushed. Nothing to do with Rangers. But all of a sudden, the Rangers are the only team name that's mentioned. Yeah, obviously.
And this is this the thing? Is this the thing? It's winding you up day by day, Bridge. Because I know it's winding you up. When I get involved in this, I was sceptical about the press, whether we were that we were getting bad coverage. But when you start, we do a lot of reading to try and get ourselves subjects, and most of them we throw away. But we have to look at certain newspapers that we wouldn't normally read, just because that's when they're printing things. Yes,
can I come in there? Ox, there was a great article I think it got printed last night, but it was in the Sons of Struth pages this morning and on the net, and it was all about the game at the Midden, where they put up the effigies. Now, it's known fact they had guys climbing up into their stanchion to hang their things, right? They then turn round and say to the press, the media, etc., that they don't know who it was. Now, it's a known fact, an actual fact. The way that it was written today, they tell you exactly what happened. Cameras were on those guys. They allowed that to go ahead, and then they turned round to the press. And since then, there's hardly been a peep about it. They never made any apologies. They never made any proper statements. Never at any time has anybody been questioned on it. Who are you kidding? Are you trying to tell us any guy at Ibrox Stadium or any other major stadium in Britain, let alone Scotland, can climb up into their stanchions and put things up and nobody sees it? Come on. And this is what we're up against, Ox. It's the minute you start reading and you see these things, they've got the media and the press tied up, and it's 100% against Glasgow Rangers Football Club. There's no question about it.
Can I come back in just for a minute? Okay, sorry.
Well, you go, Bridge, because it's your subject, and then George, it's only been fair on you.
I was just going to say, you've heard me saying this for the last number of years now. We, Rangers, Glasgow Rangers, need to get something done about the BBC. The BBC are the national broadcaster, both at radio and television, and particularly for sport. And the way they represent Rangers is absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. And the nonsense that they're coming away with is because I don't really care. They're the national broadcaster. Through the SFA, the good office of the SFA and the SPFL and the relevant sponsors, Rangers have to go through them and get this sorted. Get BBC banned, get Rangers taken away from the BBC's lips. They have to do it. Somehow or other, I don't know how they're going to do it, or resolve the issue. Either of the two, because it's going to drive all the Rangers fans mental. We're going to have this, shall we say, this meeting at the BBC, which may end up in
we'll come in that,
for the club. But I don't want any of that, to be perfectly honest. I want the club to take them to court or the Court of Arbitration for Sport, anything like that. They are not treating Rangers in the same manner as every other club, and they have to do it. That's
George Logan.
I heard the news at 1 o'clock today. It was actually, for some reason, I was listening to Radio Scotland on my peace break, and I heard the news, and it says, the way it came across to me on the news article, that there had been some kind of wrongdoing in Rangers games when Rangers were in the 3rd, 2nd and 1st division. That was the way it came across to me. But when you actually read it on the news article, we actually read it, at no any point is Rangers not to be doing any wrongdoing. So I phoned the BBC, right, and I said to them, look, is there any way you let Rangers fans want to speak about this tonight? They said, why is that? I said, well, you're actually talking, what you're actually doing you're basically saying that Rangers have done something wrong in the 3rd and 2nd, the 3rd division. They said, no, I can tell you right now, under no circumstances or anything did Rangers do anything wrong. And they said the only reason we're talking about Rangers is because it was Albion Rovers versus Rangers. It was Annan versus Rangers. They said, so that's why Rangers at the front. So I listened to Radio Scotland tonight, and I hate sticking up for them, but they were right what they were saying tonight. I listened to Radio Scotland tonight, and the first thing they said is, can we just point out, at no any point are we saying Rangers have done anything wrong. The reason we're talking about Rangers is because it was involving Rangers games. When they spoke about the clubs that never had the licence to play, they never had the licence to play, and they actually said that it wasn't a team in Glasgow. They weren't wanting to say who it was. It wasn't a Premier League team.
There was scaffolding and things like that. They never had tags on it. They said, and this has got absolutely nothing to do with Rangers. This is away teams that are trying to get extra fans in. And actually used the word on the podcast. If you listen to the podcast tonight, trying to get the blue pound. They actually said the words blue pound. So they actually did come across the night, and they did say under no circumstances did they ever try to say it was Rangers that was in wrongdoing here. But the reason they were naming Rangers Ox was because it was involving Rangers games, and there was times there was maybe 4,000 fans in a ground that should have maybe had 1,800 in it and things like that, and it was Rangers games, and they did actually say about the blue pound. So I came what they were trying to do, and I came with the pictures and all that carry on. They're trying to make Rangers a story, but if you actually see in the actual BBC Radio Scotland programme tonight, they actually did say this is no a Rangers problem. This is about this is just about the games. Like, so I can see what they were trying to do, because it is obviously Rangers games, but it wasn't the Rangers they were blaming, sort of thing.
All right, so
can I come in there, Ox?
Wait a minute, we've got an interview, GFK, if you don't mind. Unless you've got a real burner you want to come in with, because I want to hear this interview. I don't know if you've all heard it for James
Watched
Traynor.
it about 50 times.
All right, mate. I need to get you the house, man. Right, get yourself on mute. We'll hear this interview, and then we'll go to GFK, if that's all right with you, GF.
No probs.
Cheers, mate.
Necessary. Unfortunately, and because of BBC Scotland's apparent inability to treat Rangers in a fair and balanced manner, it's necessary to set the record straight following a broadcast which was put out on Tuesday night, I think, on Reporting Scotland. The BBC in Scotland had asked to interview Rangers managing director Stuart Robertson after he'd claimed they were biased against the club, the BBC, and he did that on Rangers TV. So they wanted to do a news piece. They thought it was valid, and they're probably quite correct in that. They wanted to do what they said would be a balanced and fair news piece that would reflect both sides. So actually it didn't, even though they will insist, and I'm quite sure they have, because there's been email exchanges since the interview, they'll insist it was balanced and fair, but it was anything but. I did the interview because Stuart couldn't. There'd been hypocrisy. Not that the BBC are recognising their own hypocrisy, and that they refused to attend Ibrox, they refused to interview Rangers players and management, but yet they wanted to interview the managing director when it suited their agenda. So Stuart couldn't possibly do it, but because I'm not a member of Rangers staff, I could do it because I'm also a spokesman for the club in various issues. So I did it, but I pointed out that I would list examples of where the BBC had been less than fair and even accurate in the reporting of Rangers affairs and even some matches. They said they would include that. None of that saw the light of day. So that's why I felt it was necessary to do this interview, just to let Rangers fans know what's going on. And this is yet another example of what I would call selective editing to suit BBC Scotland's agenda. So remind us why BBC Scotland refuses to attend Ibrox.
Well, they insist that they're standing in solidarity with one of their journalists whose media accreditation was withheld after a series of, let's say, reports which were neither accurate nor balanced. Not all of them, some of them, and some of them being quite crucial. BBC Scotland say that, rather grandly, I think, that they can't allow any outside bodies to dictate editorial policy. So that's why they're not coming, because they say that if we don't allow that particular journalist in, we're dictating to them who they can and can't say. No, we're not. They're awash with journalists and reporters, awash with them. Now, the fact is, Rangers has no desire to dictate anyone's editorial policy. They're not looking for favour from anyone. They're just looking for balance and accuracy and fairness. So let me put it this way. If someone's standing outside your house, I'm sure the BBC people would understand this as well, and that person's throwing mud and stones at your windows, you're not going to open your door and invite that person in, are you? That's effectively what the BBC want Rangers to do. It's this mock indignation is what I would call it. So they say they're standing in solidarity, therefore they won't come and interview anyone at Rangers or cover the matches. They would come and cover the matches, they've decided now, but not do any interviews. So they're confirming that they will treat Rangers differently. So Rangers cannot possibly agree to a policy which discriminates against them. And the BBC, I think it is quite absurd that they should even
suggest that they do this.
So when you spoke with them earlier this week, were you able to provide examples?
Of course. Let me run through some of them right now, and we could go back a number of years because this started some time ago, and because BBC Scotland's intransigence and stubborn refusal to acknowledge that there may be something wrong in the way they approach reporting Rangers affairs. This has been going on for a number of years, but let's not refer to or dwell on the montage of Valley McCoy when he was the manager falling from a window. So better not to talk about that. Leave that one. Let's bring it up a wee bit nearer today. For instance, Alfredo Morelos in the Old Firm game, the end of December. They pored over that with his behaviour in that game within a forensic scrutiny, let's say. There were other incidents in that game and other matches around the same time which were ignored completely. And it seemed that Alfredo Morelos was being singled out and targeted. Now, if you look at all the evidence and the number of times the BBC has replayed that particular footage, even this week, and that match was the 29th of December, they are still rerunning that footage. They have an unhealthy obsession with Alfredo Morelos, and they're sitting as judge and jury, and they're condemning him. They don't do it with any other players to the same degree or the same intensity, unless, of course, it's Alan McGregor. They did that in the recent Aberdeen game. Again, that was highlighted on various BBC platforms, BBC Scotland platforms. And eventually, of course, McGregor's cited and he gets suspended. Now, whether or not he should have been suspended for the incident or the challenge in the first place is not what I'm getting at here. It's the way the BBC highlight particular incidents involving Rangers players. Now, to give you another example is still on the McGregor incident. They had a radio programme just after it, and they spent about 20-25 minutes discussing this. It was debate about the challenge and whether it was violent or whether it was accidental or whether he knew anything about it. That debate was led largely by Lewis Ferguson's dad, Derek. Now, where's the objectivity in that? There is none. It's not objective. That's objectionable. But they did it anyway. Now, there are other examples, recent examples as well, where you've had them using an image of a decapitated Ryan Jack to illustrate an Aberdeen ticketing story. You had them recently showing an image of the taxman approaching the blue gates at Ibrox, the iconic gates, and a story that had nothing to do with that past issue. Absolutely nothing. That was taken down. The picture of Ryan Jack was taken down very quickly. We received an apology for that. You have another one more recently where, at the turn of the year, some reporter, and I use the word loosely here, did an A to Z on the season so far. Lots of media outlets do that. They're tedious and they're boring, but they do them. This one was done in a sort of clunking fashion, and under R, they have racism, but they use an example of racism at Ibrox, which did not happen. And then they have to take it out. No apology for that one, but then that doesn't matter now because apologies from them are worthless because these things happen time after time after time. Now, there is a catalogue of examples which will be addressed at whatever level with the BBC. We have been negotiating with them for 2-3 years now. It's no further forward because there's an intransigence there. They will not accept that any of their journalists, any of their workers, any of their members of staff could be anything less than absolutely honest and full of integrity in everything they do. Now, that's just absurd.
Are there other examples that perhaps relate to matters off the pitch as well?
Well, there are, and if you look at some of the Twitter feeds from people who work for the BBC or who contribute to the BBC, even in the business side of it, because there's been lots of issues with the Takeover panel and Dave King, you can go there and you'll find examples of where people under the BBC handles are tweeting some derogatory comments about Dave King and this business. But as I said, they're contained in a catalogue of these examples, which will be addressed through the proper channels, and that will take some time. But Rangers won't let this slide. There was another one A perfect example, in fact, where another apology was given, where Rangers received an £8 million offer for Morelos last year. Now, immediately, some reports in the BBC wrote that this was rubbish and rubbished this story. Now, the fact is it was true, and it was shown to be true. That reporter was shown the evidence, and so an apology was given. But this happens constantly. It's almost on a weekly basis now that we are seeing examples of where the BBC are being less than fair, less than balanced, and less than accurate. And it really has to stop. And they have to acknowledge that this is happening before we can move forward.
So in terms of moving forward, what can Rangers do about this?
Rangers has, over the last few years, been trying to resolve this issue with the BBC, and that will continue. These talks, negotiations will continue, but they might last some time because it's 3-4 years now and we're no further forward. But Rangers fans need to bear in mind that, and the BBC need to do this as well, that they pay licence fees the same as everybody else, but they are being given a lesser service because they can't see their team on BBC platforms. They can't hear from their manager or players on BBC platforms. That's wrong. This is the biggest club in the country. These fans deserve better from a national broadcaster and a public-funded broadcaster as well. They deserve so much better. Rangers fans can turn this around as well. It may speed up the process because, as I say, it's been going on for 4 years now. They can help. They can help enormously. They can demand that the BBC start to respect them and their club. And all we're asking for is fairness, balance, and accuracy. And Rangers fans can play a big part in achieving this and turning the BBC around.
Thanks for that, Fox. GFK, you were coming in there, and then, of course, we'll go to Bridge.
No, I think after that interview, I think you should let the Bridge man, because I know how passionate he is, the same as myself. But the floor's yours, Bridge. On you go, pal.
Oh, thank you very much. That was very kind of you. I think Trainer says quite a lot there regarding the couple of instances of the BBC versus him. And remember, the BBC have got a big lump in their throat when it comes to James Trainer. They don't like him because he used to be a big noise in the BBC. So there's a wee bit of a battle going on there. And he isn't actually Rangers because he works for Rangers. He doesn't actually, if you know what I mean, he's not employed by Rangers. His company is used by Rangers. So there's a couple of wee things in there. But what he's saying, the words he says are absolutely true. And everybody can see it. All Rangers fans that want to read the BBC on their website, want to watch the BBC or listen to them, it's all there. It comes pouring through them. And every single thing they do, the innuendos there. I mean, the main thing that Golem got banned for, or his press credentials taken off him, was the way he reported on the Hibs game when Rangers beat them 5-2 and absolutely murdered them. And the first thing he said was there was 2 people arrested. I think it was maybe 2 people arrested. And you're like, now, what's that got to do with the game itself, you know? No, he never reported on the game at all. He just reported on that. And that's why I get his credentials taken off. And I hope they never give it back. I hope that the boys take up this thing they're getting on, the 16th. I hope it all happens. If I'm available, I will be there, and that's for sure. Because I think the Rangers fans need to let them know. And that's why I say Trainer's right. The Rangers fans need to show their derision and what they think of the BBC and the way it's going to happen. I'm not dead sure whether they're going to get an answer or a solution, but personally speaking, we play in 2 competitions. We play in the SPFL tournaments, which is a league and the League Cup, and we play in the Scottish Cup, which is SFA. Those organisations are the premier organisations in this country. We, as a club, are part of them. We're members of them, and we sign the contract. Whatever that contract is, we're part of that contract. That contract has not been operated correctly. We are not getting the same cover in the BBC and within their organisation. We're not getting the same cover because we can see it when we watch their programmes. They don't interview our managers. They treat us with disdain and possibly the hatred that they actually have against us. So as far as I'm concerned, I would love it some way. I would love our board to, when they get a chance, is to take the BBC on. get a QC behind us that knows all about sports law and broadcasting, and get tore right into them. I would take them all the way. Very first thing I would want to do, I would take the SFA and the SPFL and get it sorted out that Rangers are not used in any broadcasting of any kind. No games involving Rangers will be broadcast on the BBC, either radio or television. That's the very first thing, and that includes our sports scene programme. Get it off. Don't want to talk about us. Leave our name alone, and let's go on with you. Get on with your life. We'll go on with ours. That's what I would like to see. Sorry, guys, it's boring, isn't it?
Well, it's been something you've felt strong about for a long time.
Yeah.
I think it's been a slow burner for me. I didn't realise how much it's not you start dissecting JFK, some of the small wee digs. It's constant, mate.
But see, unlike a lot of people, I mean, guys like myself and Bridge and obviously Fox and Blue Star as well, I mean, this is not a new thing. A lot of guys out there think this is, I'm going to, well, you might have been part of this story, I need to watch what kind of words I use here. The North West Area Rangers Supporters Club that ran through the Roseville, we decided to do something many years ago, and it was a ditty that was sang at Ibrox. I would rather be somebody for
yes.
Right, I'm not going to say the word.
1985, yeah.
Yep.
1985.
We decided to get placards made, and everybody had their own placards. So we were playing the puddle drinkers that day.
We won 3-0, by the way.
That's right. So we went along with it, and it was everybody.
Govan stand.
Yep. The old Govan stand. So we all had makeup on our face, a brown coloured makeup, and we'd be party hats and all that on, and we were all having a good laugh and kazoos and all that, and absolutely fantastic. And we were getting applauded all the way up for the bus park, all the way up to Ibrox. So the game went, as you say, in Hingway, but there was one newspaper especially, and the BBC said that Rangers fans had covered their faces today, and they deemed them to be loyalists. They said that we were all loyalists. There was one
man. There was a few there.
Aye, there was about 70 or 80s. There was one man called Jim Reynolds for the Glasgow Herald who actually printed a crack story and said it was Rangers fans having a bit of a laugh, which you could do in 1985, as you know. But the BBC ran a story that night in their news and said that Rangers fans painted their faces to cover themselves, to mask themselves, as they were loyalists trying to hide getting into the game. What a lot of claptrap. So this is not a new thing, guys. The BBC have been doing it to the Rangers for many, many years. But it's now coming. The boil's going to burst now. And it's coming to a head. And we need to do. I can hear in Bridges' voice how passionate he is. I'm the same. A dirty institution that they are. Stealing money from people for putting on a second rate. I don't even know. I don't even watch it. But I must admit, sometimes I watch the Sunday night show, but it's curiosity, So, how do we get into them?
There is a lot of Rangers supporters out there, mate, who haven't got satellite and other. That's the only way they'll get to see the teams in highlights. Some people it's maybe stuck in the house, etc.
I'm not telling them they know to watch it.
No. I'm not saying you are.
No. If that's the only outlet they've got, yeah, fine. And I have said there, I admit I do watch it, and I think it's like, sticking the pin. I want to know what they're saying about me, and that's quite sad that I feel like that. But I'm angry. But as Oxford, it's quite sad that I think that at 11:30 on a Sunday night, I'm going to sit and watch Stadler and Wall sit there and talk a lot of Keith. And that's the way it's got me. Really angry. Especially this man, McLaughlin.
Oh, see the march by that Sandy Jardine led us on. Now, that was a peaceful protest, as we all know. Now, I was right at the front of that. I got interviewed quite a bit with the BBC that day. Now, let me tell you, when I came home and I watched it, the innuendo that Bridgman was on about there, it was twisted to make us out like this was the Rangers thugs that were marching there. Now, Sandy Jardine, as we know, the poor guy passed away, great servant, great legend, brilliant footballer. It was a peaceful protest. Everybody knows what it was for. Yet they even twisted that to their own means. Yeah. And this is what you're up against for them. It's absolutely shocking what they do. And the thing is, most of the time they're getting away with it.
The trouble is, it's all right getting apologies. The trouble, you put it
the
out
damage
there,
is done, yeah.
Aye.
Exactly.
I mean, George Logan, I was slow to this. We've been on this platform for a few years, but we've discussed it a lot. And at first, I couldn't see it. I admit it. I say, you've got to sometimes take your medicine, but when you get the innuendos and you get the falsehoods, it's quite deliberate, mate.
Oh, it's all building up, Hawks. You can actually see it. I think we're actually starting to fight back now. Like you're saying, it's been going on for, Jimmy, they say too many years, it's actually been going on for. I think we're actually starting to fight back. I think people are actually starting to stand up for it now. And if people do go in this march, Hawks, I think it'll be a good thing because we need to do something. We can't just continue. And it's just, for example, the one I spoke about the other now, we Alfredo, the tackle on the 29th, and they're still talking about it. An interview was just made last week, and they're still talking about it last week. So it goes to show you how much a hatred they have actually towards us. And if that guy, he never got banned for Ibrox, but he got his penalty things took away from him, I think that's the least Rangers should have done, to be honest, because at the end of the day, we didn't need to. It's like Jim Trainer said about if somebody's throwing rubbish at your door and you're not going to open it and let them come in. That's the bottom line, Hawks. We need to start fighting back to these guys.
Aye.
Here.
So, George, did the support have to complain more? I think, have we been slow? We should be attacking them with emails constantly. It should be more organised.
I think we have been, Hawks. I think we've had since 2012 we've had other things on our plate, Hawks, and it's not actually been noticed. And Jimmy says it's been going to be on since way back then, but for 2012 we've had other things on our plate. If we can actually start fighting back now, and the fans doing something, the walk to the BBC and things like that, the protest, everybody's got to do that. But like you're saying, emails and things like that, and start to take notice. Like Jim Trainer said the other night, the fans need to start doing a wee bit as well. So I think it's maybe about time we actually started doing it our bit as well, Locks.
Do you know what I'd like to see on the day of the because I'm going to. You're up for that anyway, Oxford. I'm going to make a point of going that day as well. But what I would like to say, and I'd like to see on the day is, I don't want to see the flares. I don't want to see the faces covered, and I don't want to hear the songs.
If you don't want flares, that means I can't bring Fox.
No, what I want to see is thousands of Rangers fans protesting. We can sing more songs without the add-ons, because you know what? As soon as the flares and the face covering and the Billy Boys up to their knees, it's going to be there on the news, and it's like, there you go, we told you so.
Exactly.
Let's protest, and protest well, and show them that we're all together. Because as soon as we start, and as I said to you earlier on, I love the songs, and I'll always sing the songs to the day that the last breath leaves my body. But there's time and a place now, and for me that's unfortunate. And on the day of the demonstration, the time and the place is keep the songs clean, if that's the right phrase. Keep them clean, because they'll jump on us, jump for a high height, and they'll make us look bad. And I don't want to see the guys from the Union Bears made look bad, because they do a great job at Ibrox. So
who's organising the protest, Fox?
Was it the Vanguard Bears?
Vanguard Bears, mate.
The Vanguard, sorry, I thought it was the Union. Vanguard Bears, it is, aye.
A bit of difference in age, yeah.
Aye.
I think we have to be careful that this protest, in my opinion, it's only my opinion, of course, I don't think we're singing any songs, Rangers songs, because they're rallying, and we should be doing their protesting about the BBC, and maybe make up some wee ditties or something like that, but non-provocative. We shouldn't do anything provocative. Just be there, let the people hear whatever they're going to do. I don't know whether they're going to ask for somebody to come out and speak to them from the BBC, so they can give them their fury at them. But somewhere along the line, it's all going to happen. and the Rangers fans should be listened to. We're potentially the most numerous fans in the whole of the UK, and they will be heard. They definitely will be heard, and I'll get to your head. I have to say this again, guys. What the BBC have been doing over the last 3 years since this nonsense with this boy Chris McLaughlin happened, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable that they can pick out one club and tell us that because one person's lost his press credentials, there's other, shall we say, reporters went to other places and got lost their press credentials from the BBC, and they've never done anything about it like this. This is pure anti-Rangers, nothing else. Pure anti-Rangers, and it's coming from the top within BBC Sport Scotland. That's what's happening, in my opinion.
Bridgeman, even yet, when he's reporting on us, when he's standing across the road for the Old Albion, you see it in his face, you see it in the way that he even reports. It's sheer anger, it's frustration and everything. It shines out the guy. And the BBC know it fine well. We all know it.
Mm-hmm. And I just say that we shouldn't lump the BBC in as a whole and mention specifically that it's BBC Scotland. BBC have built a reputation for fairness and impartiality all around the world. And it's only the wing of BBC Scotland that is, for me, taking part in this campaign against Rangers. Mm-hmm. And it's, for me also, it is politically motivated along with the attack on Rangers. And if people can't see that, it's been pushed, the agenda has been pushed for me by word for the top of the SNP to disenfranchise people of our culture from taking part in anything, and they demonise us at every possible turn. If this was to happen to any other race or religion in this country, the MPs would be all out shouting and bawling about the treatment of them. So why is it so easy for them to do this to Rangers and Protestants in Scotland?
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear, mate.
I can't believe that we haven't protested up to now, and it's starting to happen now, of course. But I just can't believe that we haven't done it before.
This is not a trick question, Bridge, and I don't want to catch you. Have you ever contacted them to complain?
Me? I hate them, and they hate me.
Many's a time, Ox.
The amount of time they've been told you're wrong. You're wrong, sir. Thank you for your email. But you're mistaken. We don't do that. Oh, you do.
I mean, I don't know in what form the protest is going to take, as the VB haven't announced what the actual plans for it are yet. But I'm hoping it takes the form. I'm one of the old-fashioned people. I pay my licence and I've still got it here in a paper form. If it was a collection outside the BBC of your licence or a copy and an email of your bill for BBC Scotland, I would gladly rip it up and put it in a bag, and they should hand all them in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we should, personally don't think we should go as far as that, because there are people who are, no, I'm saying, it's more my opinion. I don't think we should do that type of thing. But I think we should find some form of protest, but from a football perspective. As Rangers fans,
kick your balls off on Monday.
I don't know. I don't know what we want to do. Hence the reason why I'm saying I don't know how it should be handled. I'll support most things that do that, but I don't think we should be doing. I think you're crossing over into political. We should keep it as Rangers fans. We're not happy with coverage of the BBC you're giving us, and so on and so forth.
But if you're not happy as a customer, Bridge, when you go to Harrods, when the rest is a shop at Tesco, what would you do?
What do you mean? What would I do?
You wouldn't give them your money.
Exactly. Oh no, I'm not saying we don't.
You're a customer with the biggest band of customers in the country.
Yes, I know, but I'm not saying. I think what Fox is saying is take your TV license and put it in a bag and give them it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I don't think we should do that.
Why?
Because it's no football. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to divide it. May come.
I know that. I know it's that may Bridge, but it's more than just football.
Oh, you may think it's more...
but it's more than just football.
Okay.
It's for culture. It's not just about what they're reporting on Rangers. It's what they're reporting on our culture. You heard what Jim Traynor said. No, he says the coverage that Rangers are getting, a licence fee payer isn't getting the same. He's a Rangers fan, or he or she. But it's not just about that. It's about what they're doing to our culture. So for me, Foxy's got a fantastic point there. No, I would gladly burn my licence and throw at them if I had one. Because I don't have one and I never will get one. No, they're not getting my money. And
that's Jimmy for quarantine on.
Jimmy for Knightswood, and I don't care. They've been at my door, and I don't care. They're not getting my money, right? Because it's no a law. It's an act of Parliament that you have to have a television licence. It's no a law. Police can't lift you, right? So doesn't matter what they do, but they are being biased against our culture, and the Rangers fans. Great for them to take a stance, and I'll be part of that on the day. But what Fox said is 100% right. Everybody just gave them a bucket with ripped licences up. There you go. Shred them all. Stick them up your you-know-what.
I think they're talking about doing a 12-mile walk up to get to the BBC studios. Are you up for that?
Well, I've got my stick here already, mate. I'm up for that.
Fox?
There'll be a big rush for the hiring of mobility scooters, mate.
It might be me and you on my own, George.
We'll just go to Morrison's, mate, put the pound in the wee thing, mate, and just borrow it for a couple of hours.
Good idea, aye.
But it has got to be done in a proper way, guys.
Yeah,
it definitely has, because they'll jump over us, you know they will.
Well, I think the VB are a very, very good organisation that back a lot of things for the Rangers supporters, and I think when they do produce what the march is all about, I think they'll be sensible, and they'll not have any nonsense at it, mate. I don't think.
Yeah, good.
I hope not, because it would be, to me, if it's not football related, totally football related in the first instance, because that's the only way we can get to them. We can only ask them to look at it from a footballing perspective. We can take the other stuff on at a later time. We need to get sense into the BBC about what the Rangers football side of it is happening, and what we're not getting, and what we should be getting, and what we're going to get. And that's the only way we'll beat them. I believe it. It's the only way we'll beat them.
Well, you'll not believe this, Bridge.
What's that?
That's time.
Oh my God, look at the time. Wow. Is it my turn?
No, I'm just saying to the lads, what a debate, and well done to everybody involved.
Yeah.
George, Fox, JFK, Blue Shadow, Boys when he was in. Brilliant. A difficult subject, and subjects we had to broach, and ended up enjoyable. Fox, it was enjoyable.
It was dignified.
It's a first for you. Anyway, Bridgeman.
Okay, can I just say, I'll just echo your words there. I think it's been a really, really good night tonight again. Another great night in Rangers Radio. Tremendous discussion just there at the end about my favourite enemy, the BBC. However, can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here, on Rangers Radio, every single one is, we've started the ball rolling here. We're going to keep going. So please, keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us. Keep it going.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night talking about the football. Thanks to everybody who took part this evening. See you tomorrow night between 9 and 11. Take it away, Fox.